the goal has been to run in college, and the dream has been to run professionally. And it's turning out that I will get to pursue that dream, and we'll announce that around USA's. But I'm going to actually get the opportunity to wear the BYU uniform one more time, and at the first round of USA's. And yeah, I just feel so lucky, because some women can go through the NCAA and have incredible careers, and they don't get the opportunity to run professionally. And I feel so blessed and honored to be able to continue to do this thing that I love and this thing that I'm so passionate about.
That was Lexy Halladay-Lowry today on the Running Effect podcast. I'm privileged to join her recently after her wild, seems hard to believe stating this out loud, 9:08 steeplechase performance at the 2025 NCAA championships, where she placed runner-up. She's become one of the most accomplished, storied runners in BYU women's history, and she's just been on an absolute tear. I can't believe that we now have females in the NCAA running 9:08. It is truly crazy. And then on the grass, she's contributed to 2 NCAA team championship level performances from the BYU women's distance team. Winning an NCAA title on the grass is remarkably difficult in a career, but doing it twice and contributing to it in a massive way is, ridiculous. So Lexy has big things on her plate. She talks about her ambitions for the coming months, trying to make a U.S. world team, going pro, her relationships with Coach Taylor and the BYU women's team, thoughts on their culture, how she's turned into the athlete she is today, being really successful young and handling that, balancing that, ultimately overcoming some of the doubts of not being able to get faster after her freshman year in high school, and so many other things. I really enjoyed this conversation with Lexy. I know you guys are going to find value from it, and once you finish this, share it with someone who you think would enjoy it as well. That's the biggest way in which we can grow. Give us a 5-star review and hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And with all those notes aside, enjoy my conversation with Lexy Halladay-Lowry. Lexy Halladay, I hope I said that right, Lowry. Now I'm getting in my head about it. Welcome to the Running Effect podcast. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing so good. How are you?
Good. How many people butcher that last name? It shouldn't be that hard. I froze.
I get it. It is very long, but and honestly, if people say a holiday or Halladay, or it's all the same to me.
We talked about practice a minute ago before we started recording, kind of the bridge between NCAAs and USAs. How has this time period, the shift mentally been like for you?
It's been exciting. It's going to be a long season, just with USA's being at the beginning of August, but we've known that we were going to do it from the beginning of the season, and even indoor. And so I've known that it's going to be a long season. And so after NCAAs, I have, and my other teammates have, tried switching to more of a pro mindset, especially as we start to do more with the pro athletes now that the college season is done.
If I would have told you, what did you run at NCAAs, 907?
908.
908, okay. If I would have told you 5 years ago that you would have run 908 in the steeplechase and that wouldn't win the meet, what would your reaction have been?
I would have been stoked, because 5 years ago, at the end of my freshman year, I ran my fastest time that season was a 10:08, I'm pretty sure. So a whole minute faster, and I just would have been ecstatic with the time. And even if you would have told me that I would have gotten second, I would have been just ecstatic with that as well.
Is it so cool to look back and reflect on the progress you've made? You know, you talked about when you were above 10 minutes, to see how far you've come. And I'm sure there are freshmen on the team that you're kind of mentoring. How powerful was that message to them of look, you can get there too, just be patient?
Yeah, what I really try to hit home with them is just trusting in the process and knowing that everything is compounding. Because I get asked a lot, what made the big jump? And I just tell them it's just compounding miles, compounding just years on years, and just trusting in Coach Taylor and the training that she has written for me, knowing that it is for me, and just trusting the process.
What are some of those other big lessons you learned during your time at BYU that you feel formed you into the athlete you are today?
Especially being at BYU, there's a ton of fast women here, both that have graduated, that are in the program now, and that are coming in. And I would say for me, the biggest lesson I've learned is taking the best attributes of those around me and like learning about how they got fast, what they've done in their journey to achieve their goals and to chase their dreams, but not copying, but taking aspects from all of the fast women around me and finding out what works for me. Because, like, something I like to compare this to is you don't need to reinvent the wheel, but you need to make the wheel fit your wagon. So you don't need to go find new training or figure out like new recipes or like figure out how to sleep, but you have to find what works for you to make sure that it's sustainable.
Going back to that NCAA performance, I think I asked James Corrigan, so other side of BYU, this question. It seems across all events, there's not always the biggest correlation between the top in the NCAA and the top in USA, but for whatever reason, steeplechase, both genders, the top in the NCAA always seems to have a really good chance at top 3 at USA's. Why do you think that is? And obviously that 908 kind of puts you at the top of the US right now. How crazy is that for you as well?
Oh, it's so exciting. The coming out of NCAAs with that time, obviously I was bummed with not getting the win, but walking away being a 908 steepler just gives me so much confidence going forward, because you can have all the confidence in the world knowing that you have the potential to run fast times, but like actually having it going into USA's, it's just really exciting. And honestly, I don't really know why. I feel like the steeple is such a niche sport that if you're a niche event, that like if you're good at it, I don't know why it does tend to, if you do well in the NCAA, you do well on the US stage as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember a moment looking back in time where you realized that the steeple was your event, your go-to, your gift?
Actually, Coach Taylor put me in it, and it was interesting. So it was my freshman year. I wanted to be a miler. Who doesn't want to be a miler? It's just short enough to where it's like, I don't know. It's a really fun event. And when she put me in the steeple, I thought in my little freshman mind, I thought she was just putting me in there because I wasn't really good at the mile. I wasn't quite strong enough for the 5K. So it was like, all right, go do the steeple. That wasn't why. But, yeah, so she put me in at my freshman year, and I just kept getting faster at it every year. And obviously, like, Courtney Wayman was there my freshman year, and so I got to train with her both my freshman and sophomore year. And just seeing what she did during those times, during when I was on the team, was very inspiring, and she's just a great example of what I wanted to achieve as well.
In training in recent races, did you think 908 was possible, or did you take yourself by surprise that you ran that?
No, based off of workouts and like off of my 5K, and I knew that was in the ballpark. I wasn't sure how far sub 910 I could go, but like I knew I could go sub 910.
I feel like it was just a few years ago that Courtney Frerichs broke 9 minutes in the steeple. I could be wrong on this, but I think I'm right. She was the first American woman to go under. There was a lot of conversation, a lot of excitement. Even remove yourself from being the person who did it. Is it crazy that we now have a collegiate female who's an American who's like kind of almost running that? I know 8 seconds is 8 seconds, but you get in the right race and it happens. Is that crazy that like we're getting that close in college now?
Yeah, it's insane. And the fact that sub 9 won NCAAs, I was like, that's insane as well. I remember watching that race. She ran it at Prefontaine. I think it was in 2021 after she'd gotten silver at the Olympics. And she's the only American woman to have gone sub 9. And yeah, especially like now today, there are currently 3 Americans sub 9:10. And it's just getting deeper with like Angelina. She also just ran 9:10. And then, yeah, there's just, I can see someone doing it this year. It, like you said, it just takes getting in the right race at the end of the right training block. And I'm just trying to ride the wave.
What do you think it's going to take to make this U.S. team, and what would it mean to you to make a U.S. team?
I don't know if you can really say a time, because it's just so dependent on how the first mile goes. Like it could go really slow to fast or really fast. It just depends on how the race plays out. So, I mean, I think the women who make the team will have to be in sub 906 shape just to be able to compete and to run that race in multiple different ways. But I mean, just trying to put my name in the hat and do everything I can to at least show up on the day to have the best race I can, and whatever that means, I'll just be excited to step up to the line and compete with the best in the nation.
How do you structure your training with Coach Taylor to take into account that USA's is happening and it's so much farther than NCAA as well, making sure that you're peaking for NCAA's, giving yourself a chance at a title? How do you balance both those things, specifically when the people you're competing against at USA's, for the most part, unless they're in college, which very few are, have only been focused on USA's?
Yeah, it's a coach, since she does have professionals and collegiates, she can like compare, and she's just, honestly, she's a master of the sport. Like, she knows how to train people, she knows how to peak everyone on the team, especially like the longer you're with her, the more she knows how to like critique specific training plans and like how to get people to be their best at when it matters the most. And like, we did a little peak for NCAAs. We didn't like completely go down just because we knew we wanted to continue to train through to USA's. And I just have, I don't really question it. I just kind of do whatever she says. And it's worked out so far. And with every year I've been at BYU, and NCAA specifically for me have just gotten better and better. And I attribute that just to her getting to know me and the way my body works and psychologically as well. And it's come together at the right time. So I'm just trusting in Coach to do that as well. I did very well at NCAAs, and I know when it comes to USA's, as long as I do my part, we'll show up to the line ready to go.
How important to you is that trust piece in your coach, trusting your coach? I've heard this from numerous athletes. Like, if you don't trust your coach and what they're doing, you won't have confidence when you ultimately race.
I think it's everything. If you don't trust what your coach is doing, how do you have any confidence in the training? Because a lot of confidence comes from training. So if you don't trust the coach who's writing the training, it's just a losing battle. I don't know. Because like when you step up to the line, you're relying on everything that you've done building up to that. And yeah, especially with Coach Taylor, it's such a crucial part of the training because we are very reliant on our hard workouts. We're not a super high mileage program, and so we do get everything from our hard workouts. And yeah, she's very good at writing them. So
what's the energy at the track like for one of these hard workouts? Multiple different high quality caliber level athletes in their own right. Coach Taylor probably shouting at you, "This is fun." What's the atmosphere like at the BYU track?
Yeah, we really do try to keep it fun. Like, I would say workout days are the best days of the week for me, especially. Like, it's the day I get to hang out with all of my friends and we get to go do something that we love. And we get to do these workouts that Coach T writes that are really scary, but like we know they're manageable because she wouldn't ever give us a workout that we couldn't do. It's just a matter of doing it. But the vibes are always amazing. Everyone's there for a good time, and that Coach always comes. She always brings the best energy, and it's always a blast. Like, we have one tomorrow that I'm just psyched for. It's one of our hard days, and it'll be a good time. We're gonna bring all the good energy.
What's the relationship been like with her throughout the years? Obviously, your freshman year, I feel like, was around the point that she was starting to be very established within the program. What's it been like to grow with Coach T?
Yeah, it's especially like my freshman sophomore year. That's when like Courtney and Whitney and Anna were still like on the team running for BYU, and so I had the opportunity to like watch them and their relationship and see like what their relationship was like with Coach Taylor, and just seeing, like I said, she was able to get them to their best when it mattered the most. And it took me, there was other things going on, but like it took until probably my end of sophomore junior year to really show up on the right day. And I wouldn't contribute that to training. That was more mentally. But yeah, just really investing in that relationship and ensuring that she knew I trusted her, and the same, like she trusted me to do all the things on my end, and just building that relationship, and also just being an example to the younger women of what it takes to thrive in Coach Taylor's program. Because like I said, since we are a lower mileage program, you have to do a lot of the other things on the side in order to get faster year after year.
I think something unique about the BYU program is they get it done both cross and track. I think a lot of programs, not adding anyone here, just general thought, can get it done on one or the other. And it's very rare that you can get it done on both. BYU, and I feel like specifically the women's program, you know, you guys win team titles. I believe you're a 2-time NCAA cross-country team champion, but you're also running 9:08 on the track. What do you think allows you guys to do that and be excellent at both?
We have had a lot of success on the track, and so we definitely have like the players to do well on the grass. But in cross country, it's so important to rely on the team aspect, because cross country is fun, but I love track. It's hard to, I don't know. There's just something about cross. This I didn't really love it until this past season. But once we really like dove into the team aspect and like started like legitimately doing it for each other and with each other, it made it so much fun. And like showing up to do 6 to 10K workouts every day and just like finding the love in it and doing it together. I think that's crucial for cross country, because it's not like track where you line up and you can like get a pacer and you know exactly what time you're going for. Cross country is like you're truly just competing, and that can be hard when you have a really good team, because everyone wants to be the best, and in track everyone has their niche events, and so it's easy to get into like a pecking order, or to try to be the best on the team, or there's like a certain lineup that everyone has to come in every single race, and just really trying to squash that and just show up and trying to get the team to show up and just have everyone have their best day on the day and realize that like it's going to be different every time. I think that's really helped us, is just showing up and just racing and competing with and for each other.
We talked about your relationship with Coach T a lot. You graduated from BYU. Your eligibility there is complete. Next steps, as much as you can share, what's in store for you in the future, and where's your mind at?
Yeah, it's very surreal that I'm done at BYU. It's been like the longest 5 years, but also the fastest 5 years of my life so far. Like I think back to my freshman year, and that feels like so long ago, but like it wasn't at the same time. But like to actually be done is, the goal has always been to run pro. Like the goal has been to run in college, and the dream has been to run professionally. And it's turning out that I will get to pursue that dream, and we'll announce that around USA's. But I'm going to actually get the opportunity to wear the BYU uniform one more time, and at the first round of USA's. And yeah, I just feel so lucky, because some women can go through the NCAA and have incredible careers, and they don't get the opportunity to run professionally. And I feel so blessed and honored to be able to continue to do this thing that I love and this thing that I'm so passionate about. But yeah, I'm just trying to like transition from the college headspace to the pro headspace, which college hasn't been done that long, but like in this short amount of time, it's a completely different world. And for the better, but it's so different.
What do you think are some things you want to accomplish as a professional? I know now you've gone from thinking about winning NCAA titles to making teams, potentially setting records. How's your mindset shifted now that you're starting to make that shift from college to professional?
I think just finding ways to fulfill my time and satisfy me. Because like in college, you have classes and you have an entire team, and then on top of that, you get to run. And so with being a professional, you don't have the same structure. And like I said, I've literally been like, NCAAs was like 2 weeks ago, so I really don't know. But like having interacted with some past teammates who are professional right now, Just finding ways to be satisfied while also recovering. And I'm a really big believer in not putting all of your eggs in one basket. And so just finding ways to, yes, be completely 100% in on running and being as fast as I can be, but like also investing in other hobbies or just other aspects of my life. And so just kind of figuring that part out. And I have some time, and yeah, we'll just see what I want to do with my spare time while I'm recovering.
What would you say to someone out there listening who's middle school, high school, maybe even early years of college, wants to accomplish some of the things you have? What would you say to them in terms of that journey and that progress to get there?
I would say surround yourself with people who have similar goals or similar drive as you, because like something Coach Taylor says a lot is you are a mixture of the 5 people you surround yourself with, and you want to be surrounding yourself with people that are better than you, and not necessarily like running, but like just you want to surround yourself with people who you want to be like. And that's one thing that I would say to high schoolers is make sure you're surrounding yourself with people with like-minded goals. That's it, because yeah, that's something I would say.
Yeah, it's everything. I love the saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. So if you want to be a specific type of person, you got to surround yourself with people who are already like that or on that similar journey and pursuit, which is why I think teamwork and going towards a common goal with each other, specifically in cross country, is so powerful. And I think, yeah, you wouldn't be who you are today if you weren't surrounded by the females you were the last 5 years. I'm
Yes.
assuming you'd agree with me there.
100%.
Yeah. Let's go back in time. How'd you get your start in the sport of running?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I played soccer and basketball, and I love those sports. I'm a very, very competitive person, and so that was my outlet. But for getting into running, in elementary school, my PE teacher had us run the mile, and I can't remember off the top of my head what time I ran, but I came home and I told my dad, I was like, Dad, we ran the mile today, and I ran whatever time I did, and he didn't believe me. And so we went to the store and we bought one of those measuring wheels, and we went and measured where we ran the mile, and it was a mile. And so the following year in 7th grade, he suggested that I try out for cross country, and I went and ran cross country that year, and I had a lot of success early on, and it was so fun. I loved it because unlike soccer and basketball, it was completely on you. Like, you didn't have to rely on anyone else, and what you got out of the sport is what you put into it. And I liked that accountability aspect of the sport, that you could be as good as you wanted, depending on how much time and effort you were willing to put into the sport.
That moment in 7th grade where you started to have success, what was going through your mind? Did you think, oh, this could lead somewhere? Or were you kind of naive and just like, well, I'm enjoying it right now?
I'd say a mixture. I with the times I was running, I knew it could go somewhere, but it came so quick and so easy for me in middle school, especially, that I didn't really know what it meant to like struggle or to work. Like, I don't know. And because like in 8th grade, I ran a 4:46 mile, which that like every year I was just getting faster, and that was awesome. Like, I was like, this is great. If I could just chop off 5 to 10 seconds every year, by my senior year of high school, I'll be running so fast. And of course, like, that doesn't happen. Like, I came into high school my freshman year, and once again, I chopped off another 6 seconds. I ran a 4:41 my freshman year, and that was the national record. And I was like, sweet, we'll just come back next year. We'll just keep this ball rolling. My national record for freshmen was a 4:41, and that didn't happen. I went on summer break after my freshman year, and I came back a different person, and I had to learn how to run again, and I had to fall back in love with running.
Take me through the gap between that moment and ultimately deciding to run for college, and what made BYU stand out from the rest.
Yeah, so when I was going through the recruiting process, one thing that stood out to me with Coach Taylor was that she told me that if I trusted in her and came to BYU, that I would eventually get faster. Because at that point, I hadn't run faster than the time I ran in the mile as a freshman. And I believed that I knew that I could get back to that, but I just hadn't had like the time or the training to do that. And hearing that from her, which no one else had said that to me, was really, it gave me hope, because I wanted to be faster, and I knew that I could be a really good runner again. But like to hear that from her and to know that like she's like, no, you're good, like don't even worry about it, you'll come here and we'll have time, and we'll just get better as the years go on. And that was, I really wanted that, because I didn't want to be a super fast as a freshman again and then like struggle for years. And yeah, that ultimately is why I chose BYU, because I wanted a female coach, because just in our conversations, I knew she understood what I was going through, and I knew that she could help me get through it. And she's just also, I could tell, she's so passionate about the sport, and it's intoxicating when you're around her. And so whenever she would call me, and when we'd be on the phone, I could just tell how much she loved her team and how much she loved the sport. And I just wanted to be around that.
What was that race like when you broke that freshman PR? How much relief did you feel? Take me through it.
It was an indoor, I remember. It was my freshman year, and I finished the race, and I think I ran 4:40. And as soon as I finished, I was like, woo, we did it! Like, finally, I'm faster than my freshman self as a freshman in high school. And even in the moment, like, I went up to Coach T and I was like, I ran faster my freshman year. And she was like, that's awesome. Now, like, okay, go cool down. It was just like we knew it happened. Like, workouts had been saying that. And it was just such a relief that I could let go of that. Because throughout all of high school, I was holding on to that, because I was afraid. I was like, I don't want my fastest version of myself to be my freshman self. And so, like, as soon as I did run faster than that, I could finally let go and look forward, which I should have just done that earlier. But it was hard. I was just young and wanted to run faster than that. And I was not embarrassed, but I didn't want to be someone who ran fast, like, while I was young and then
flash in a pan.
Yeah, I never did it again. And so it was just like, okay, that's done. Move on. Let's get faster.
What would you say to someone out there who's kind of in the trenches, hasn't seen progress in a minute?
I would say find your love for the sport. Even when it's hard, as long as you can find the joy in it and truly love the process and love the journey, if you can just stick it out long enough, things will pan out. And if you're doing it because you love it, even if like you continue to struggle, it's worth it, because you're finding the fulfillment in other aspects of the sport, which makes it worth your time.
Before wrapping up here, I want to ask you about, let's see if I can find it. I read somewhere that you play the violin. Where does this come from? How long have you been playing it?
I started playing in I think it was 3rd grade, and my older sister played the violin before I had started, and I just thought it was a really cool instrument. And my mom really wanted all of us to pick an instrument to play, and so I played the violin from 3rd grade all the way through my senior year of high school. And when I came to BYU, I didn't bring it with me, and I don't know why. But I finally, a year ago, I went home and I got it. And so I've been picking it up again and trying to play, because I spent so much time, how many years is that? From 3rd grade to 12th grade, investing so much time and effort. And I feel like I got pretty good at it. And so I'm trying to like, that's another thing. Like, I want to spend, especially now that I have some time, I want to invest time in getting good at that again. But yeah, that's kind of fun. I don't know.
What was your favorite piece to play back in the day?
I loved um Canon. There was more. There was a longer name, but
Sure. They're
but
always
that it was.
confusing.
I loved playing it with my sister because there was two parts, and normally the first part is always like more technical than violin two, but both violin one and violin two were like pretty difficult, and it was just so fun to play with someone, and so it was. I really enjoyed playing that song with my sister. I think that's why it's my favorite because we spent a lot of time practicing that piece together, and we would like play it at Christmas time for the family. But Canon and D, I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. I haven't played it in a while,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
You got to bring it back one of these
I
one of
know.
these years with her. That'd be fun.
My mom would be happy if
Yeah.
I did do that because they spent a lot of time and money for me to learn how to play that thing.
Totally. Final question for you, Lexy. Final serious question for you. Final takeaway message to the audience. Can be anything. Anything you want to share with them.
Ooh, final takeaway message. I would say invest in the relationships around you because especially like in this sport, it's so individualized that it's really easy to get caught up in what you're doing and the numbers you're trying to run and the events you're trying to get good at. But if you can broaden your vision to those around you, it makes what you're chasing feel smaller and more attainable. Because when you see what other people are chasing, you're giving them advice on how to do it. And then you're learning how to, what you're saying to them, you're also internalizing. And when you do try to like bring people along with you or just like just investing in other people, you're just happier and you just it makes the sport lighter and it makes it funner. So that's what I would say. Just invest in your relationships and make the sport fun. Like it doesn't need to be super intense all of the time. Like it needs to be fun, especially for longevity. It needs to be fun.
Lexy, final question I ask every guest, more fun one. Every guest on every single podcast. If you had Gordon Ramsay coming over to your house for dinner, what would you personally choose to make for him?
Oh my gosh. I do love to cook, but I don't know if I have like one dish that's like super stellar. I The way that I cook is I like to just go to my kitchen and like whatever's there, make what I have. And so sometimes they're like okay, oh gosh, maybe some sort of pasta dish with like my favorite. Okay, actually I have one. It just came to mind. I would make this like lemon crusted chicken with this
Ooh,
tomato sauce that I make. It's really I think it's really
sounds
good.
delicious. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Well, Lexy, thank you so much for the time today. I know you're busy. You're training for big goals. And so I appreciate you taking time out of your busy life and training to speak with me and share some wisdom with the audience. And really looking forward to seeing you crush it in the month ahead. And USA is really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me on. That was a blast.